Ozarks underwater, some of the worst flooding we've seen in some time, and it's creating a very dangerous situation right now with multiple reports of water rescues and houses and roads flooded.
Paul, I'm just north of the intersection where Grand Street goes under the train tracks, and there are a couple feet of water on the roadway here. There are barricades up to keep cars out, but since we've been here for about an hour now, you might be able to see behind me, cars have been trying to go through, and it is not advised. We've seen about 5 cars get stuck under the bridge here, get into the water, not realizing how deep it is and getting stuck. Thankfully, there are a few people here in a truck at the one of the businesses nearby who are willing to sacrifice their night to help these people get out of the waters. Now, this is the scene in a lot of places in Springfield. Feet of water on the road and roads closed off. That's why the Greene County Emergency Services is telling people to stay off the roads unless you need to get on them.
Record rainfall washing out roads, threatening homes, and dozens of water rescues going on. Good Sunday morning. Welcome to Ozarks Today, the weekend edition. I'm Sarah Foreheads. Torrential rainfall has created a very dangerous situation this morning all across the Ozarks.
The rain let up quite a bit overnight here in town. We've only had about a ½ inch compared to the 603 we had yesterday. Still some flooding going on. The heaviest rain now is shifting to the south, and that's going to be in places that did not have the heavy rain yesterday.
The road here behind me has got maybe about a foot or more of water over the top of the bridge here that kind of winds across the river. You can see behind me fire crews are here. They just showed up a few minutes after we did because they're here to check on a car that's stuck in the water there. They're doing a water rescue, possible water rescue.
And emergency workers have answered dozens of calls for water rescues. One going on now in southern Greene County. That's where we find KY3's Drew Douglas. Drew, what can you tell us?
Yes, Sarah, right now, water rescue is just now finishing. As you can see, a woman right here is being pulled out of the water. She is here on Farm Road 141, just south of Springfield. That'd be Cox Road if you're heading south, or Nicholas Road if you're heading north from Nixa. This woman was trapped in her car here along Farm Road 141 across the James River for a little over an hour, and they've just been able to successfully pull her out of the water. She's obviously very cold and wet.
2 places in Taney County are being evacuated. KY3's Dustin Hodges is live in Bull Creek Village, just north of Branson. Dustin, a scary situation for people there.
Paula, it has been. Now, when we first got here, there was only about 2, maybe 3 inches of water over this road that I'm standing on now. And now you can see I'm standing in about 6 inches of water. If you look over my shoulder here, you'll see a minivan. That water is about a foot up that minivan, almost covering that front wheel of the minivan. About 150 residents were evacuated by the Taney County Sheriff's Office. They were woken up at 5 o'clock this morning, and by 6, they had started evacuating them to a nearby gas station. Then, as the water continued to rise, they were taken to a nearby church called Christian Life Center. It's just up the hill. About 50 to 60 people sought shelter at that church. Now, the church has taken them in for the night, giving them a place to stay as well as a hot meal. Now, the water here in Bull Creek eventually will flow into Lake Taneycomo. Now, I spoke with the Taney County Emergency Management official earlier today. He said Beaver Lake in Arkansas is also experiencing flooding. They're going to have to open the floodgates of the Beaver Dam. That water will flow into Table Rock Lake, and when it starts to flood, they're going to open the floodgates at Table Rock Dam. That water will flow into Lake Taneycomo as well. So all of those residents that live along Lake Taneycomo between Branson and Hollister are being told to be on standby for evacuation.
We continue our team coverage tonight in Pulaski County, where flooding has killed 6 people. KY3's Eric Hilt has more on why that number could rise.
It's already the deadliest flood in Pulaski County history.
I don't think we've ever had this many in the history of this county due to floodwaters.
6 people swept away by floodwaters last night, and officials say that number could rise. The first fatal accident happened on Highway O outside of Dixon.
The car that had driven into some flooded roadway where a small creek was flooding over one of our state highways. We had 2 individuals in that vehicle. The water swept them away, and they both did perish.
The second call came from here, a low water crossing on Highway U just west of Crocker. High waters from this creek swept away a car with 4, maybe 5 people inside.